Hello, it is time. It is season 10 of Mutiny Motorsport, and we are here for you. 7 great races coming up, and this is the first one. I am Alex, part of your commentary team. We've also got on board with us Ryan and Andrew today. Say hello, chaps.
Hello, guys.
Hello, everyone.
And this is our calendar. These are the 7 beautiful tracks we're racing at. First off, we're in Barcelona, then we're moving through into Canada for the second race. And for Barcelona, we have a treat in store. 33 laps with 14 crazily demanding corners, most of them to the left, really punishing the tires. Or most of them to the right, really punishing the left-hand tires. And it's just over 4.5 kilometers. And you can see our previous winners just on the right-hand side there. In qualifying, let's go, Ryan.
Qualifying saw Peter at the top, setting a very strong. He had a 1:15.3 over here. Half a second behind him on the front row is Titar, followed up by Shattered Compass in third, Nate Delta in fourth, and Orange Boy in fifth, Brauchen 6th, Asmoon 7th.
And here we go. They're already off. They're already in your way. They were not hanging around, and it is too wide. I think that is Shattered with a hell of a lead.
Behind. Yeah, hell of a start by Shattered, jumping up from third, challenging Peter, who's just gone wide.
That is a hell of a lead from Shattered. He is leading, and that is Brauchen in second. That is the captain team's away with the strongest start we've seen. And Peter down to third, TTR down to fourth, so not a good start for the front row guys.
We saw Peter starting on the hard tires, so I'm sure that's hampered him a bit off the line.
Definitely a lot harder to get good traction off the line with the harder compound.
Yeah, they got to take a little while. The track is relatively hot today. It is 31 degrees as we're seeing Nate Delta and TTR go side by side. Up the hill, we got a tight, fast right-hander up the top. And there we go.
TTR wins out on that one, but it's pretty clean so far, except I see Coob Dog falling behind a bit. I wonder if something's happened already.
Yeah, he's back in turn 2-3 area, and he's moving very slowly.
Yes, I think I might be me out already.
Oh, Coob Dog, what did you do?
Oh, it's heartbreaking. It's not the start to the season that anyone wants for themselves.
Lap one's a hard time to go out in the first race.
It is, and that is the best start to Shattered Compass's season we've seen. He is on the way, and in the back we also see, I think that's the Williams of Debug also in the gravel, so not the start he wanted. As we're on board with TTR here, trying to hound down his old rival Peter. And then his teammate Orange, just a few places behind, trying to find a way past Nate.
Oh, is that a car that we got stopped there on the infield of turn 3?
Yeah, I think that's still Coob Dog. If you look in your track map, top right-hand side, car number 11, just starting to get going again. So he's really down already. He's a lap down, and he hasn't even finished his first lap.
Nate Delta looked to be sizing up Titar a little bit. I wonder if there's an opportunity coming in the future.
Here we go. Top 5 as it stands after the first lap's really gone through is Shattered, followed by Brauchen, the 2 teammates, Peter, TTR, Nate Delta, then Orange in 6th place. And we're looking at Nate here. He is right on the back of TTR. I wonder what tires they've started on. Let's have a look at our records here.
I think the medium was a popular choice for most of the drivers. We saw a couple hards and a couple softs, if I remember correctly.
That was the leader, I think, went off. Oh, actually, it was Brauchen P2 went off at the last corner.
And he's been swallowed up by the field there. That is not what he wanted, and that caused a little bit of chaos behind. And now it's Shattered, followed by TTR, followed by Peter. So TTR got in front of Peter in that chaos, and Nate and Orange, and Brauchen not enjoying that last turn. Oh,
yeah, Brauchen falling down to 6th. That's a hard pill to swallow.
Here we go. So, still on board with Nate, finding out Nate is on the soft tires. He is, apart from Coob Dog, he was the only other driver to start on the soft tires, explaining his great pace in the first few laps. As we go side by side here, Asmoon and Nate Delta. Asmoon in the McLaren makes up a spot.
Have you guys tried using clean air?
And Shattered Compass.
Little cheeky
boys
there.
out front. Yeah, 4 seconds ahead. That clean air is definitely working for him.
The one thing he doesn't have with clean air is DRS, and we're seeing that DRS being used on the back straight now.
Yeah, lap 3, it's open.
And here we go. We've got a replay on board with Brauchen here, following through the last corner. This gets a little wide, and that's it once he's on the gravel.
Yeah, he was followed off there by someone who wasn't punished quite as much.
Yeah.
That is it. And that was him getting swallowed up. And you can see the DRS there opening up on the cars. It's when the rear flap opens up, gives you a little bit of a speed advantage. And Nate trying to look down the inside, just can't manage it this lap. Asmoon also had DRS in front of him, so a little bit harder. Okay, so Shattered still leading by 4 seconds. Peter another second behind TTAR. And Orange up into 4th place there, really capitalizing on the mistake of Brauchen and making his way through a bit of a field there. That didn't go well. Who's that in front?
Oh! Was that the Lotus back into the wall at the end of turn 4? Or turn 5, sorry.
I'm cooked.
Peter is cooked. He is out.
Hopefully 1 tick of wing damage isn't bad.
So Orange involved in that incident. I think that was Brauchen as well and Peter. See Brauchen down into 8th position now. He's just been overtaken by Debug. Or he's just about to be overtaken by Debug. He was overtaken by Dave.
Oh no, the spin from Nate.
That is.
Oh, that is disappointing. It's lap 4 on those soft tires. I wonder if he's just starting to overheat them.
I was going to say the same thing. As we see coming out of the pits, I believe that might be Coob Dog.
Oh, that was a big repair.
Yeah, important to stay in the race, though. Even if you do have a big incident, you can always go back to the pits, repair, and try to make it to the end, pick up a point.
And you can see on the track map there, Peter all alone at the back there, right on the right-hand top.
This is Brauchen making his first stop. Certainly going to be repairing some of this damage that he picked up.
Yeah.
You see that replay.
Yeah, and that was him straight on, right into the front of Peter, who's, you can see in the replay there as well, can't keep the car in a straight line, missing a rear wing. Oh, that is not the way he wanted to start this season. Peter's so dominant.
That car is going nowhere anymore with a no rear ring.
He is struggling.
Talk about a change of luck. We were here for season 7, I believe, and Peter took that race easily. It was the same car, similar track, different layout, but he waltzed to victory without too much competition, and this is just such a turn for him.
Yeah, it is, and this is not what he was expecting on his return. He took a season out to do some endurance racing. And here we are on board with Asmoon. He is right in the slipstream of Orange here. What's he going to do down the inside, down the outside? He has DRS open. That is a cut and shut move. Up to 3rd place. That is a great start for Asmoon there. Considering he started, I'd like to say something like 7th on the grids.
Yeah,
really
right.
benefiting from the troubles we saw for Brauchen and Peter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, keeping your nose clean is part of racing.
It is exactly. Oh, is that Shattered going slightly wide?
That is.
Into, I think that was turn 4 there. Or turn 5, sorry. Here we go. But still Shattered leading against TTR. Asmoon on to 3rd now. Orange into 4th. Garrett up into 5th. Dave up into 6th. That is your top 6 right now. As the race just startles to settle down after a bit of chaos. Here we are, on board with your leader. Starting through the final complex. I think that's Nate again. Did Nate spin or crash there?
I think he just had a tricky time with turn 7 and 8 right there. Tricky corners.
Yeah, they're very tricky. You've got to brake. There's some off camber there that doesn't really help.
Oh, that's another spin for Nate. It might be that his soft tires on the rear are overheated and they're starting to go off.
Yeah, it sounds just like that.
Our tires are lasting, but I'm going for plan B for me because of the wing.
Okay, so Orange started on the hard tires. He was meant to be running long, seems like, but he's got to make a change of plan. So he's change of strategy on the fly here. So let's see how he can recover this race. He's got to do a front wing change. That's going to cost him in the pit stops.
I believe he did start in the mediums, not the hards there, but early stop for a medium.
Yeah, I think the entire field, 1 through 7, is on the medium tire. Nate being the first on the soft tire.
Oh yeah, he was on the mediums. Yeah. Here we go. Shattered leading, comes down into the braking zone. Brake just before the 50, so he's pretty confident there. Oh no!
Big slide. That confidence bit him.
Yeah.
His guitar's there to pick up the pieces.
And they're side by side, giving each other a little bit of room. He's not going to be liking those hot tires right now, Shattered Compass, but he's going to enter in this last corner in the DRS, I think. And there he goes. He gets the rear wing open.
Quick recovery puts him in position to stay in the race here.
Yeah, lost 4 seconds with that spin, though. That is a brutal 4 seconds and way back into the front now. Let's see if he can hold on to it. As TTR does not give up. They are pretty close. Through turn 1, turn 2, into the long right-handed turn 3.
Yeah, keeping it at bay for now. The next overtaking opportunity is going to be turn 10, and then after that, the DRS on the main straight.
That's it. As we see, their tires have got to be screaming right now. Track temperature 32°C, so it is hot here. 23 air temperature. It's nice and dry, as you can see with our weather report in the top left-hand side. But
and this track has always been known to be very hard on tires. They have very high-speed corners, long radius corners, especially on this configuration with the 2 high-speed right-handers at the end of the lap. There is no time for these tires to cool down.
As we watch TTR just start to get his front wing shown into the side view mirrors of Shattered's car, and then making a move. He's on the inside, then he's on the outsides. They're going to keep it.
Oh, who's going to be ahead? It's T-Tar.
It's T-Tar. He manages to find that bit of extra speed around the outside, use all of the track width, and that's helped as Asmoon has caught right up to them, and they both got DRS now behind TTR.
This is playing right into Asmoon's hands.
That was an excellent move by TTR, though. Going around the outside of turn 12 is no mean feat.
Shattered Compass sends it again. Not as clear cut as last time, and T-Tar looks to be hanging on.
Yeah, he's around the outside now. And he's on the dirty line. You can see a few marbles already starting to form there. And now he's being swallowed up by Asmoon there. He gets the inside, up into seconds.
Asmoon's loving this.
Yeah, the chaos in front is playing right into his hands. His tires have been nice and he's managed to bring them in how he wants them. He hasn't been fighting with anyone. He's just been driving through the chaos. And here he is arriving, challenging for first place on lap 9 after starting 7th. What a drive.
That looked like a little bit of contact there between the McLaren and the Mutiny car.
Could be a bump, that's for sure.
And that's it. TTR makes his way back into first, gets DRS. So Shattered losing there in that moment. And then Asmoon around the outside, up into seconds. Shattered Compass, since that spin, has dropped 2 places now. This is not where he wants to be. And he's being hounded by Orange, I think, just half a second behind him.
I was going to say that. Orange is caught up also in this elbows out battle.
It is
as
all
into the
out.
pits, I see someone, I think that's Shattered jumping into the pits right now.
Yeah, he's gone. Maybe that spin and the overheating tires was just a bit too much. And he's like, I don't want to be involved in this. Get me out of this fight. Get me on some fresh rubber. I'll make up the time.
Once you start to overheat the tire, they can really thermally degrade, and then it's a losing battle from that point. It's a good move to get off of those tires.
Yeah, like you were saying, Andrew, the tires really don't get much break, much reprieve from the hard workout of all the right-hand turns. So, not it's a smart move to get on something that's not overheating.
We're hearing reports from the pit lane. Shattered's going onto the hard tires. So in this race, in this season, you got to jump on 2 dry compound of tires. So he's getting his second set of tires out of the way on his after his first stop. He probably could go to the end. It'd be a long stretch though. Be a bit of a long stretch.
23 laps. Yeah.
23 laps. As we're following the battle for first place here, and just behind them, let's not be they're not far off. Orange and Garrett. So right now this is a McLaren versus first mates battle for the top spot right now.
All of this battling at the front has really brought in, P. Oh, who's that going into the pits right now? P3, I think. Is that Orange heading for the pits?
Orange.
He's getting rid of those tires. He's got to make that front wing change as well. So this might cost him a little bit of time.
He could be responding to Shattered Compass, or he could be just tired of dealing with that front wing damage. We don't know how bad it is exactly.
Here we go. Arsmoon is right on the rear wing. And he makes his way up the inside and sweeps his way around.
Great job on the front wing, pit crew.
Orange happy with his pit crew there.
Keeping morale up in the team.
Yeah, that is good news.
That's a good move down the inside of turn 4 for Asmoon. T-Tar tried to come back to him, on him into turn 5, but Asmoon had that covered off cleanly.
And behind them, it looked like Orange came out of the pits ahead of Shattered Compass, so it must have been a slow pit stop or a slow outlap for Shattered.
Yeah, well, I wonder what happened there. That is not what you expected, a 5-second gap between them. So yeah, something has happened to Shattered, I would imagine, considering Orange changed the front wing as well. Here we go, down the main straight. TTR's got the DRS. The DRS happens when you're 1 second within the detection point of the car in front. He's going around the outside, using all the track, almost over the white line, and hanging it on around turn 1. Oh, he's had to take to the escape roads.
Came in too hot.
Coming in hot and losing out in that.
Close enough to get another try coming into in that second DRS zone, and then if he can keep it close again at the end of the lap.
That would be the strategy here. Just holding a tight inside line. Both of these guys running the medium tire to start with. They haven't pitted yet, and they've been battling hard the whole race, really. So this hasn't been doing their tires any favors either, following in the dirty air and then braking a bit later, a bit earlier to try and get the line that you want when you're fighting the car in front or behind.
Also, all of this degradation from the tires is going to be creating a lot of marbles on the side of the track, so it's going to be even more difficult to go for overtaking maneuvers.
That's exactly right. So let's see what's going on here. Right at the moment, so we're going a bit of a pit stop phase.
Oh shit, I missed my pit limit.
Oh, Coob Dog. This is not the start of the season you wanted.
It goes from bad to worse.
And there we go, as TTR makes a move, there is a steward's investigation. They're looking into that pit lane speeding as they're side by side. And I think that's TTR back in front now as we go around turn 3, but it's Asmoon fighting back on the inside.
Asmoon not giving up. T-Tar had the inside line earlier, but Asmoon able to hold on and do the bit of a switchback almost coming into turn 4 right there.
Yeah, and as we saw, Asmoon also got their penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Unfortunately, that is a pretty easy infraction for the stewards to handle.
Yeah, it is a slam dunk. Poor Coob Dog there. He's already several laps down. He's 5 minutes down on the timesheet. But with Peter retired, he is getting a point right now. So perfect. Doesn't matter to him. He can just get himself on the scoreboard early on in the season. And that's so important, as we found out during all of these Mutiny seasons. Every single point counts. Just looking down the field, and Debug is in 6th ahead of Shattered Compass, so something has definitely happened to Shattered right now. His pace looks good, a 121. As TTR makes another move with DRS down the main straight. This is just cat and mouse, guys.
They're just playing DRS games going back and forth.
Yeah, don't battle in the corners. Just sit behind each other when the next DRS stone comes. That's how easy it is right now. They must be running similar levels of wings, I would imagine. With that DRS open, giving you quite the advantage down this straight.
Yeah, playing tag together like that is actually let them pull away from the cars behind a bit. The gap to Garrett has grown by a couple seconds over the last few laps, up to 7, and then 14 seconds is the gap down to 4th.
Yeah, Dave doing a good job though. Up into fourth, still on that medium set of tires. He's running long, just like Garrett there. But the pace, you're right. It's these front guys. Every time we see these front guys, they just seem to pull away, even when fighting. And here we go. Asmoon trying to keep his line nice and tidy. Well, maybe finding a little bit of cleaner air around the outside there.
We're starting to see these tires really struggle.
Whatever you're doing, Orange, keep it out.
And I think that's in referral to the gap is down to 20 seconds now. So Orange is making some pace. 120. One of the fastest guys on the field, I think.
CTTR going strong defense right to the inside of the track and straight back to the outside of the track.
They're not messing around here. This is a battle. It's got to be before their pit stop phase. We're almost at halfway with these guys. They've taken the medium tires a long way right now. They've got to be screaming.
Yeah, we've started to see a lot of understeer and oversteer from both of these cars.
And it makes it really tricky. When you're coming into a corner, you're braking, you're expecting the car to like hit a certain apex or turn in as sharply, and it just drifts out wide. It makes the car super challenging to drive. You're constantly having to adjust your corner, every single braking zone, every single corner, every single lap.
And with the speed of these cars, you really don't have time to make those adjustments, adding another level of difficulty here.
Exactly. These guys, most of these guys have come off the F3 season, so learning these much higher downforce, much faster cars has been a bit of an adjustment period.
It's going to be interesting to see which one of these drivers heads for the pits first. Who's going to go for the undercut?
Yeah,
looks like Aspoon was struggling the last corner, so I have to wonder whose tires are better at the moment.
Yeah, that gap has exploded to about a second.
It's a good battle when we can say that it's exploded and it's at a second.
Yeah. And they're still pulling away from Garrett in third place. But you've got to say, it's got to be Orange looking strong for the podium right now. He's made his first pit stop. He's now only 17 seconds behind. He's 2 seconds a lap quicker, basically, than the front runners in his clear air. This is working out perfectly for him.
Oh, man. I think that's me out.
Oh, Shattered. Where is he on the map?
I'm in danger right now on track.
He's exiting
Is he
the last
exit
corner.
of turn? Yep, exit of turn 14. Trundling down the straight, it looks like, on the track map.
Oh, no. I wonder if he did what Brauchen did and went out wide and caught that wall. Does we still see these DRS games up front? I don't think this camera has left these front runners the whole race.
Your whole rear wing is gone.
And Nate confirming to poor old Shattered, who made that explosive start and was leading the race. It has gone from bad to worse.
All downhill.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in first place has overcome the what could we say, the curse of first place in this race.
It seems like you don't want to be leading right now, by the looks of what we're seeing on screen.
Asmoon doesn't care about that. He wants to be leading. He wants the curse on him. As I think that was a glimpse of, yeah, there we go. That is the captain's car without a rear wing. Oh, that is not what he was expecting from today.
Trundling along just off the racing line to keep it clear for people.
So Dave's in the pits, I see. Dropped down to fourth, so Orange has taken his spot. Just dropped down to sixth in the pits. It's about 25 seconds to pit stop, give or take. If you got any damage, it might be a little bit more.
Yeah, either of the two leading cars could pit right now and have come out in good clean air, which really help with the undercut.
Yeah, they'd probably come out fifth, fourth place. Everyone else would shift up. They'd be in front of Debug. And they'd have a good little gap to Orange in front of them, who's got tremendous pace. Maybe slowing down a bit right now.
Could have at least triggered a safety car.
And that is Brauchen lamenting his early crash with Peter. He went onto the hard tyres. He's doing good lap times, 121. Still on the hunt. As that is TTR again. As we start lap 18. DRS, he's back in front. Into turn one. And I don't know how many times these guys have swapped positions down that main straight. Enough.
Nothing can separate them. I'll say that.
No. Just disappear, one of you. Just disappear into the sunset. It's yours for the taking. And as I say that, Arsmoon is unrelenting and says, that corner is mine. What are you doing? I want that place.
Yet another overtake from Aspen in that corner. We saw that earlier on T-Tar, I believe. And unorthodox spot, but he's loving it.
Yeah, they've both got pace still. They are starting to just slowly drop off the fastest pace, but they're still there with the main field. They're still on race pace. And here we go, DRS for TTAR. Coming down that back straight, he's thinking, what can I be doing here to get past this guy? Tight line into that corner, stays tight again. Really under the gearbox here. 0.2 of a second. Called it.
TTR heads for the pits.
Yeah, anymore. He doesn't want to be there. Is that Shattered entering the pits again? That must be... Oh, he's got to be some laps down now from that damage. How slow he took to get round.
Yeah, a couple laps down. Could still be in it for points. Just has to make it to the end.
He does. What a great race for the McLaren boys. Right now running 1 and 2. Still need to pit, so they're the longest running pair, I think, on the grids. As that's
Yes.
TTR out.
Coming out in 4th place. With about a 15-second gap to Debug behind him.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. He's got a gap to his teammate in front, so he's got some clear air now. He can make hay while the sun shines. Sounds like he's gone into the soft tires as well, so he's got some pace to find.
Is that going to be 14 laps on the soft tire if he wants to make it to the end?
It's going to be quite a stint.
Yeah, from what we saw at the beginning, that's going to be difficult. Lighter fuel loads will make it easier, but that's not a given.
That is not a given. As we're on board with Garrett here, 10 seconds behind his teammate. About a second a lap slower though, so he's got to be thinking to himself, what's he doing that's so different to his teammate that's costing him a second a lap?
And we're seeing Asmu go around again. He's really committing to the overcut strategy as his teammate Garrett comes for the pits.
Oh, and I think Garrett breaks for the line a bit early there, and that is Orange behind.
Garrett, what the heck?
And that was an overtake into the pit lane. That was a Sebastian Vettel, I think, as if I've ever seen it. Just while you're going slowly, I'll go quickly. Thank you very much. And totally legal to do so on the entry. Oh, there's someone just a little bit wide there. Who is that? Car number 10. That's Coob Dog. As Arsmoon still going. Oh, Orange. Beating in the pit lane.
Ooh, too anxious to make that move work on Garrett that wasn't paying enough attention to the pit lane speed.
That's right.
And unfortunately for Orange, like we saw with Coop Dog, speeding in the pit lane is very slam dunk penalty.
And there
It
go.
is.
Confirmation, 10 seconds. So not as an egregious a penalty as Coob Dog. I think Coob Dog must have been excessive. This must have just been a few kilometers an hour, costing him the 10 seconds there. As we see the leader going to the pits, it's only 18 seconds back to TTR, so I think the undercut has happened already, as long as TTR can keep it on the track.
But we will see Asmoon come back towards TTAR probably with the fresher tires towards the end of the race.
Yeah, if every lap counts, he's only got 13 or 12 laps to go on these tires. An extra 2 laps on those tires for TTR, so it's going to be a harder ask. Here we go. We're over halfway. 33 lap race. We're on lap 21. I think everyone's at least made one pit stop. It's TTR, Arsmoon, Orange in 3rd, Garrett O'Brien in 4th. It's Dave in 5th, Nate Delta in 6th, Brauchen 7th after that early crash. Debug in 8th, Shattered Compass after a spin and a crash, down in 9th place, several laps behind now. And Coob Dog with about the same, as we see Nate enter the pits.
And I think we missed it on the broadcast, but Brauchen up to 6th, past Nate Delta. They were looking close on the timing tower, and he made a move.
That is all he needed.
I mean, looking at our track map, we have 3rd, 4th, and 5th very close together on the track.
Going to be interesting. Who's in 5th place of that pairing? That is Dave. So Dave on the medium tire. He's gone medium to medium. So he still needs to change his tires, I believe. He needs to run a second compound before the end. So he's a little bit out of position right now.
He must be betting on the 2-stop. It was always going to be a gamble for a 1-stop to make it, but he's committed right now.
Yes, indeed. It's TTR 120.
Oh. I don't know if anyone can hear me. I've lost all sound.
Oh, glitch here for TTR. After just posting a 120.2, that was a very quick lap. You're using those soft tires to his advantage, but glitch in the system there. He's lost all sound, so changing. I imagine he's changing his gears using the lights on the dash rather than hearing the notes.
It's very hard to drive one of these race cars without sound.
Yeah, you're used to getting to a particular RPM down a particular section of the track. You're using all of your senses to drive the car here.
Listening to the tire scrub as well can be a bit of a tell for some drivers to know when they're pushing the limit.
So I think he's lost about half a second, maybe a second to Arsmoon. We saw it from 4 seconds down to 3. Let's see what their lap time is when they come round onto the start-finish straight here. How much time? Is one losing or is one gaining? TTR is losing 121 versus a 119.8. So it's actually a little bit of both.
About 1.6 seconds in the favor of Asmoon on that last lap.
That is, that's impressive. He's got a few less laps to do on this set of tires, but he's still asking a lot of them right now as Dog enters the pits again. That is a lot of damage on that car. Let's go through the order again. TTR up front, Arsmoon, Orange in 3rd, Garrett O'Brien in 4th, Dave in 5th, Brauchen 6th, recovering nicely, still on a 121 on those hard tires, so he is lapping and Mr. Consistency right now. Nate Delta in 7th, Debug in 8th, Shattered Compass in 9th, and Dog in 10th, and Peter has retired, and it is points for the top 10. So everyone right now is scoring a point. You get a point, you get a point, all of you get a point.
We'd like to remind the audience that the running order is fairly correct, but Dave C still needs to make a pit stop for another compound of tire.
Yeah, that is going to cost him 23 seconds at least, so that drop him back to, say, around 8th place, around Debug, maybe just ahead of Debug. Maybe fighting with Nate, actually. So let's keep an eye out for that. Dog's still in the pits. Oh, as I say that, his little pit symbol disappears, and he is making his way down the pit lane. Let's have a look again. So TTR's made up a little bit more time, back into the 120s, still lost a good chunk, over half a second. Oh! As TTR goes manic. What is going on here? I think that was another glitch.
Lags backed into a wall.
Oh, that is not what he wanted from the lead of this race. Down into seconds.
That is extremely unfortunate for TTAR, but it gives Asmoon about a 13-second lead now.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking when it's out of your control like that, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why this league does not run mechanical damage on these cars. There are no mechanical failures. As we see him give a spot over now to Orange. And then I think that's Dog behind him, but he's making spots for people. I think that car is very damaged. He's got to be making his way into the pits. There he goes.
super unfortunate for TTAR.
Yeah, that's why this league does not run that kind of damage, because these kind of incidents happen already.
There is crash damage, to be clear, but no need to double down on mechanical DNFs and similar kind of issues.
No. Orange is taking up the mantle of lead driver here for the First Mates team. And he's got some work to do if he wants that victory, his first victory in the league. He's got 13 seconds. It's down to 12 already, a little bit. So he is making up a little bit of time, but he's got to fight Arsmoon, who we know has been very quick. And he's also got a bit of trouble behind him with Garrett. It's lapping similar times as well, so he's in a McLaren sandwich right now.
This would be Asmoon's first win if he can hold on to it. So big moment for him. Lots of pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I might be back. Oh, that ruined my race.
So I think that's him talking about his audio connection issues. This is the first time you might be hearing his engine in a few laps. And it did ruin his race. 1 minute, 35 behind. So he's a lap down from the leaders. Down in 8th place.
The curse of first place strikes again.
Yeah, it does indeed.
I'll tell you what, if we look at the top of the timing tower, Asmoon put in a 20.9, Orange putting in a 19.4. It's 1.5 seconds.
Yeah.
In the favor of Orange.
Yeah, and my notes here saying that Arsmoon is on a set of soft tires, so might be nursing them just a little bit, and Orange hammering those medium tires. That is the fastest guy on mediums by far.
And I gave myself a flat spot as I exit the pits. Fucking great.
TTR not happy as he's angry exiting the pits, and there's an investigation to him speeding as well. So frustration all round.
Yeah, lots of drivers getting caught up by that.
It's difficult to tell where the pit line starts in this track. It's actually quite a ways down the corner and onto the front straight.
So there we go. Confirmation. 10-second penalty. That is the third penalty we've seen this race. But it being a lap down and his closest competitor being 30 seconds in front or a few minutes behind, it's not really going to affect him too much. Whereas it could affect Orange a little bit more. Remember, he's got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and he's only 10 seconds in front of Garrett. So gotta say, that's pretty close. 9 seconds.
But again, we're seeing he's taking a lot of time out of Asmoon and Garrett. 1.5 seconds to Asmoon and about 1.2 to Garrett.
This is what he needs to start his season off strong. Good performance. Maybe assert himself as a bit of a front runner this season. Got lots of podiums. He's still desperately looking for that first win, is Orange. So this is the kind of performance he needs. Weekend in, weekend out to show that he can win. But he's still got to get past Arsmoon if he gets up to him. He's only got 6 or 7 laps. So it's a bit of an ask right now. So who is that? That is, I think it's TTR. Maybe fighting someone there.
Getting a little bit wide out into the dirty stuff.
Fighting his tires more than anything.
Yeah, fighting his tires. He got past Shattered Compass, I think. That is the closest driver on track, but a few laps down. They're heading down the main straight. And TTR there with a 117.9, so showing those new soft tires, even with a bit of a flat spot, everything he's got.
Orange again taking 8/10 out of his 2 competitors for the podium.
This is a strong showing here. Those McLaren boys are doing very well. First and third, this is exactly the start they're kind of looking for this season. I'm not sure if they were being expecting it. Let's be honest here. They weren't coming in as favorites for winning this race. You would have had to have put your money on someone like Brauchen or Shattered Compass, Peter, TTR, all the race winners in this field. And so far, none of them anywhere close to the front.
Yeah, Aspoon and Garrett coming from 7th and 8th respectively to land in a double podium. That would be quite the result for them.
Doing great. Orange again, taking a bunch of time as he comes out of the final corner. What's his lap time going to be again? Again about 7/10. So he's making moves. It's not quite fast enough, I think, for victory. I think Aspoon is just starting to respond as we're looking here. Is TTR unlapping himself against Garrett? I think it is. Again with a 1:18.9. Fastest guy in the field. He's got soft tires. They're fresh. They just need to get to the end now. It's not very many laps.
Yeah, we see brand new soft tires, what they do to old hard tires. There's no competition there.
Absolutely. As we see Aspoon going all the way, using all of that curb. Absolutely all of it on the exit of that turn there.
Could have been picking up a track limits warning there. Drivers do get 3 in each race, so potentially using them wisely or starting to struggle with those tires.
Yeah, that may well be the case. Remember, Aspoon is on soft tires, Orange on the medium, so they're going to last a little bit longer. They're going to be a little bit harder. Going to be a little more difficult to heat up as well. They take a little bit longer to get hot, so able to use all of it. We can see him not using all of the track there. And finally, Aspoon responds to Orange's pace and sets the gap at 9 seconds. That's where Aspoon feels safe right now.
I mean, if we're looking behind Orange with his 10-second penalty, he doesn't have much buffer to Garrett. He's got to stay on the pace.
He does indeed.
It's starting to get a little bit further away. You know, we saw him really at the boundary earlier, and now he's got a second or so in the pocket, but nothing to, one mistake and that could be gone.
As we see, I think it's the upsetting thing about being lapped and then being behind drivers in the front of the field or being behind drivers that you are lapped behind. So Shattered is easily keeping on pace, 1:19.8 with Garrett. That tells me, had he not had that spin or that crash, where he could have been. He's definitely front runner pace. There's just so many laps behind, and without a safety car and unable to lap himself, it's been tough for him.
Yeah, for someone like Shattered, where you're just kind of driving around with nobody to overtake, no one to race really, you're probably thinking, oh, what's the point? But even just doing 20, 30 laps out here is a lot of good practice for the rest of the season. You can get used to the car, learn how it handles, and come back a bit stronger.
That is spot on. You got to think how many drivers. There are 20 signed up, 6 reserves. Only 11 made it to the start, so you got to think how much extra time in these cars all of these drivers have over all of the other drivers who didn't make it to attend. So on board with Orange again, a second that lap faster than Aspoon. So Aspoon, I think, starting to struggle on those soft tires. And Orange not struggling, it seems.
2 laps remaining. Is it a little, too late?
I think it probably is, but he's also made that 10-second gap back to Garrett. Extended enough, I think, to start feeling safe.
The one thing I will say that's interesting is I don't think that Dave has come in for his mandatory pit stop for another compound yet. He must be running a very interesting strategy.
Good catch. Yeah.
Maybe just trying to extend it. I mean, if he goes back now, he's going to drop down a couple of places, probably right just behind Nate Delta in 6th. So still getting some good points. As we're on board with someone, Brauchen and Nate Delta are fight. Brauchen's lap time's finally starting to disappear. They're in the 121s forever. He's now in the 124s, so I think those hard tires have had it. And this is a great opportunity for Nate. DRS open. Up the insides. That was an easy one.
Takes back the place that Brauchen took several laps ago.
Yeah. And that Red Bull looking strong in the final stages. That's a valuable points gain there. Up from 6th to 5th. Brauchen trying his best there, running on those hard tires after the early incident. He's done a ton of laps on these tires. I think he pitted around, or I'd like to say lap 4 or something crazy. So he's beasting it. As we're back on board with Asmoon, 1:19.6. As times are fluctuating pretty heavily here. He's only got a couple of laps to go. Ending lap 32. We're coming on to the last lap of the race. He's got the gap. He just needs to bring this home. I wonder what's going through his head. Don't crash. Don't understeer. Don't spin the car. Just tires, get me home. I want to pick up my first victory.
And what a victory it would be if he manages to hold on for this last lap, starting from 7th on the grid to challenging for the lead on lap 9. What an incredible drive.
And hard fought all the way beyond that, going toe-to-toe with Titar, the reigning champion.
And Shattered Compass. They were all in that fight together for a little while before Shattered decided to pit. So this wasn't an easy win. Maybe towards the end he had a little bit of reprieve, but he still had orange. And there we go. Steward's investigation. You called it, Andrew.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Dave. You have to use 2 different compounds of tire, not 2 different sets of tires, 2 different compounds.
Yeah, and he went from medium to medium. He's on his last lap, so there's no way he can now make, even if he makes the pit stop, he cannot do a Michael Schumacher back in 1990 something, maybe 2000 and something, where he changed his tires on the very last lap.
I believe that was for a penalty for Schumacher that he served in the pit lane just before he crossed the line in pit lane. And yeah, not an option here. As we see Asmoon crossing the line with a little bit of victory dance. Coming to greet
There we go.
crew.
What an incredible drive from Asmoon there.
That was incredible. And what a great drive from Orange. Second place, a strong second place. And Garrett O'Brien just coming around the final corner on the track map here to make it. And McLaren 1-3. That's the start that they wanted. They weren't expecting, but they got it. Shattered Compass crashes himself out.
Little bit of pent-up frustration. And there we see it. Dave C has been disqualified for not using 2 different tire compounds.
There we go. What a race for Asmoon. Taking his victory lap. And who's coming around? I think that's Dave disqualified. So Nate Delta will move up then if my calculations are correct. And Brauchen and TTR, Debug, Shattered Compass, and Coob Dog, who's still running around 14 minutes, almost 15 minutes behind the field. All going to get in front of Dave. Why didn't Dave stop? He is a reserve driver. Maybe his team just didn't remind him of the rules.
And this is a great example of perseverance. Coob Dog 15 minutes down, but is going to score 2 points through the DNF of Peter and the disqualification of Dave.
There you go. That is all you need to know about just sticking it out. You don't know what's going to happen, and I don't think anyone expected this.
Great, Asmoon.
Appreciate it. McLaren 1-3. Let's go.
Oh, Garrett, I'm sorry I lost my cool on you in pits. I apologize.
That was a very lonely race.
As we go to the race results, that is it. We have Asmoon in front, followed by Orange, followed by Garrett, Nate Delta, Brauchen, Debug, TTR with the fastest lap, but no points for that this season. Shattered Compass 3 laps down, Coob Dog 10 laps down with 2 points as we go to the driver's standing line.
Driver's standing are, as we saw in the race finish, round 1 is going to give Asmoon the lead in the championship for now. 6 more rounds to go. He's going to have to be defending it the whole way. Titar is, someone that could have been in the lead, but we'll see how he goes from here.
And then onto the constructor standings. McLaren with that 1-3 has scored a massive 40 points with the first mates team being in second place with 24. So it's a large 16-point gap. Then we have Red Bull, the captains, Williams, Mercedes, and Lotus unfortunately scoring no points with Peter's DNF.
And thank you so much for coming aboard with us this weekend. We just want to say we've got 6 more races. Please come and join us next week in Montreal. Thank you so much.
See you soon.
See you in Canada.